Arsenal 1, Crystal Palace 1, 6 clear of Manchester City, 7 clear of Liverpool, the two biggest title contenders. Although Bournemouth are actually in second place and 4 points behind Arsenal. I don't mean this with any disrespect. Most see City and Liverpool still as the main candidates to stop Arsenal. It's a scrappy win. They won by a set piece, but they get the 3 points. We're going to be breaking the game down. Want to get your views, want to get your opinions in the comments section on this. But a massive, an absolutely massive, a huge, a gargantuan. Did I say 1-0 Palace? Did I say Palace 1? Did I say that? Anyway, you know it was a slip of the tongue. An absolutely huge, huge weekend for Arsenal. Not just a big win for them today, not just a huge 3 points, but with City losing, with Liverpool losing, with Chelsea losing, Arsenal did something today that they have been ridiculed and they have been chastised and they have been dragged over the coals for many, many a year. What they have done is win a game when an opportunity was presented to extend the lead, to create an advantage, to give themselves an insurance policy. And they did that very well indeed today. And as a lot of the comments here are saying, it's a good week. And it certainly is. Matt here says, let's fucking go. Eaton here says, set piece FC at it again. Garrett here with a super chat says, Arsenal set pieces are more reliable than Haaland. They certainly were today. Luke here encouraging everybody to hit that like button. If you would be so kind as to hit that like button, that would be amazing. Very important for the channel. Told you yesterday, Arsenal are going to win the league because of set-piece dominance on both sides. Only team built to handle the tough games. Do you know what? I think there's some element of truth in that today because Palace made the game very hard and very stinky. There's no doubt. 7 points clear to be precise. Well, you're 7 points clear over the current champions. You're 7 points clear over who everybody's favourites were to win the league at the beginning of the campaign. That is significant. As much as it's only 4 points over Bournemouth, I still don't think Bournemouth will win the league. And I know we've seen Leicester do it in the past, but that's a 1 in 10,000 shot. I look at this and I still see City and Liverpool as the only other two clubs capable of winning the Premier League title. But Arsenal have extended themselves, giving themselves a 6 and 7 point lead over those two clubs, respectively. Big up to everybody from That's Football that's joining us on the show. Always love the fact you guys come over here and support the fan channel community, supporting the Football Terrace. Thank you to Mark for the kind redirect. It always means a great deal to us. Our panel will be joining us later on the show, so make sure you stick with us to hear their views. If you want to call in and have your say, we'll also share the link as well. If you turn your camera on, get your mic set up, we'll have you on. Hello to you, the Virgin Mary. Hope that you are well and hope that you are good on this Sunday. Man United are making me proud. I can't believe it, to be honest. Listen, Man United this weekend, I'm very happy with this. Yeah, you know, we're in the mix for a European spot. Blue King here says, how come boring football is top of the league? Well, as a Chelsea fan, if you witness your greatest ever side do back-to-back league titles, you'd understand that completely. Winning football matches is the most important thing when it comes to performing well, and being able to win is very, very important. And Arsenal have done that by and large this season. They simply have. Let's break the game in a little bit more detail, because Arsenal demonstrated their dominance and another side to their brilliance today. It wasn't a game for attacking flair. It wasn't a match that's going to live long in the memory of even Arsenal fans. This won't be a game. You'll see highlights of this game maybe in 10 years' time. It'll randomly pop up on your timeline on YouTube, or you'll watch, you know, maybe something magical happens in May, and then there's a, I don't know, it won't be a DVD. You'll probably download it now or stream it, but maybe a documentary gets made, or a kind of commemorative piece of content gets put out by Arsenal, and you watch this back in 10 years and you go, oh, I remember that game now. Yeah, as they scored against Palace. That'll be it. Because it wasn't full of beautiful, exciting football that will have rivals at the edge of their seats? Absolutely no, it wasn't. A big part of that, again, was Crystal Palace. And I've said this for a few weeks now, and I'm going to say it again and again and again and again. Football teams are scared to play Arsenal. Football teams are scared to open up and express themselves. And even at 1-0 down today, again, Palace, what did they really do? They broke the first team in 3 games in the Premier League to get a shot on target. But they didn't really commit to a counter-attack. The reason why most of their balls into the box were quite easily gathered by Raya was they did not have the balls. They did not have the confidence. They did not have the whereabouts to say, let's commit 2 or 3 additional players to an attack. You saw in the opening 15, 20 minutes of the second half, why? Because Arsenal would have pounced against them. In fact, it was 5 shots to 0 in that opening 15, 20 minutes, because they did commit an extra player or 2 to the attack. They didn't sit as deep. And Arsenal just what they couldn't do against Arsenal in that second half was win the ball back against them because they weren't crowding out the spaces and then go about a counter-attack. And teams are in this kind of conundrum with Arsenal. Do we open up and potentially get battered, or do we sit in and maybe nick a goal? Maybe nick a goal for an equalizer, maybe nick a goal for a win. And Arsenal get a lot of criticism because people view it as a them issue. And I didn't think Arsenal were great today. I think there was a lot of heavy touches. I think there was a lot of moments. Saka, Trossard, Zubimendi, actually, even Timber, where they had the ball in good spaces and one good pass and a player would have been in, or they needed a good touch and the ball to get trapped under their feet. So there was certainly some sloppiness from Arsenal today. I'm not going to deny that. But when you're playing in when you're trying to create fire under a fire blanket, 0 oxygen, it's exceedingly difficult indeed. But what Arsenal demonstrated today was growth. What Arsenal demonstrated today was the other side of dominance, which isn't in the goal-scoring area. It was defensively. I know Gooners watching all around the world would have been getting nervous in the last 10, 15 minutes of the game. Of course, I would be surprised if you were not nervous. It's your team and you want to win. But I was watching and I did not feel like you were going to concede. Every ball that went in, Gabriel, Mosquera, getting their heads to it. Hankopi was always there. Even when they did play some good football and they broke maybe the midfield line, almost straight away, a fullback was inverting, winning possession back. A centre-back was stepping out, winning possession back. It was brilliant. And then when you had to get your blocks in, fantastically done. This Arsenal team, there was a super chat we had on the terrace earlier, which I'm going to try and put back on the screen if I can find it, that says, told you yesterday Arsenal will win the league because set-piece dominance on both sides. I don't just think it's set-piece dominance on a defensive level. It's your defensive dominance. It's your ability to barely concede good quality chances. You barely concede on goal. You win most of your sort of 50-50s in defensive duels. And when you have to get a last-ditch tackle, a last-ditch block, a last-ditch clearance in, Arsenal do this fantastically. Man United, Arsenal at Old Trafford, first game of the season. A lot of people go, there weren't a lot of big chances, Terry, and it's not a great amount of XG for 22 shots, etc. Tells me you didn't watch the game. The amount of times United had good work, we got the ball into a really dangerous area. And suddenly, Saliba, bang with a block. Gabriel, bang with a block. Clearance, header, they get there. They find a way. And although, as I've said, this isn't going to be a game that lives long in the memory of Gooners, they look back on with fond memories, but it demonstrated a different side to you today. And a lot of people will say, Terry, you and others criticize Liverpool for not performing well and nicking wins 1-0. Why is this different? And it's a fair challenge, but it's a very simple thing to answer for me. Arsenal in these last 2 Premier League games where they've won 1-0 have been the better team. They haven't been getting peppered. They haven't had to rely on their goalkeeper to legitimately save them. If it hadn't been for 3, you think about Palace versus, I know it was away, but you think about Palace versus Liverpool. Without one of the best goalkeepers in the world putting in a top-class performance in Alisson, it would have been 3 or 4-0 down. What were the gilt-edged chances today for Crystal Palace? There is a difference. Smash and grab is normally when you've been under the cosh. You can't believe sometimes I can't believe we ain't conceded, and bang, you go and grab a goal. That isn't what today was. it wasn't a brilliant attacking performance from Arsenal. And there's definitely areas there to look at and to maybe criticize. And I thought that Trossard, Saka, Gyökeres, even I know Eze scored a very good goal. And I'll get onto him in a moment. I didn't think they were particularly great. I didn't think the fullbacks were good in the attack. But the other area of the game, in terms of stopping the opponents, needs to be applauded. And as a general rule, I stand on what Sir Alex Ferguson always said. And that is that attacks win you games and defenses win your titles. And right now, when you look across the Premier League, I was actually staggered and shocked to some degree to actually find yesterday, because I didn't look at the numbers, that Sunderland have only conceded 7 goals this season, now the same as Man City. I think Tottenham have conceded 7, Aston Villa have conceded 8. But Arsenal sitting there, 3 goals conceded. They're on course to only concede 14 goals. If they carry on at this current run rate, it's 14 goals they would concede this season. And I think if they're anywhere between 14 and 20 goals conceded in the whole campaign, if they maintain this level of defensive discipline, Arsenal will win the league. The only area you could maybe criticize is the lack of open play goals. And I do understand that. But do I think they're going to come? Yes. Let's also not forget who Arsenal played today. This Crystal Palace team was on a crazy long unbeaten run, has beaten Cities, has beaten Liverpool's on multiple occasions, has a formidable record in the last 9 to 10 months. It was never an easy one. This isn't Burnley at home. This isn't Leeds United at home. This isn't Tottenham at home. Games that you could imagine Arsenal being a cakewalk. It's a really good team, Palace. They're really good. They're really hard. Loads of energy, high quality players. And I thought it was a very hard-fought win. I want to shout about a particular player, though, today, and it was Eze, because I don't think he had the greatest games of all time, but it's very difficult sometimes when you play against your old team. And I want to speak about his goal, because I know technically it comes from a set piece. It was from the clearance of a set piece. But when I grew up as a kid, we never considered if a ball gets cleared from a set piece and then someone scores a screamer, or the ball's recycled very quickly and crossed back in, we never looked at it as a set piece goal. No one ever did. And I love what he did today. The volley from him, the guy, I mean, obviously he didn't celebrate. And that must have been, like, he actually looked really miserable when he scored. And it probably because he didn't want to celebrate and disrespect the club that essentially helped to give him his career. But at the same time, he just scored an absolute cracker at the Emirates in a really, really important game for Arsenal. So I felt a little sorry for him in that regard. But that kind of finish from Eze, I thought was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant to see. And he gives Arsenal something different in that midfield as well. But what I will say, and what I'm really intrigued to see Arsenal do, is when Odegaard comes back, because what they do miss in that area is Odegaard's passing. The one thing, whether it's even Saka, whether it's Saka, Eze, Timber inverted, none of them have an eye for a pass to break a line in the same way that Martin Odegaard does. None of them. Declan Rice, he's a cut above them in that area, which I think is key. But as I said at the beginning, and I'll reiterate again, I've seen Arsenal in the past 3 to 4 years have so many opportunities to catch up with a team ahead of them in a title race, or pull an extra point, 3 points clear, capitalize on a bad weekend for their title rivals, and fail on many, many occasions. We saw last season games exactly like this, and these games exist. And do not be gaslit this week. Do not be hoodwinked. Do not be fooled. I already know the Sky Sports producers, TNT producers, BBC producers, they're on ChatGPT right now, and they're typing away saying, create a script and a narrative to turn being top and clear of the 2 other favourites by 6 and 7 points, but they're lacking open play goals. To create a negative narrative, and they'll be coaching that into their pundits, and they'll be rehearsing it, and they'll be saying it, and they'll be looking to go in at you. But this was a game last season. This is what you'll only hear this from honest and good pundits. This was a game last year that Liverpool, that Arsenal were dropping points in. This was a game last year where they weren't getting that second goal. They were collapsing. They were conceding late. They were conceding from a set piece. And as it stands, 9 games in, this Arsenal team has grown. This Arsenal team has gone to another level in terms of mentality and perseverance. And I still think from an attacking element has got levels to go up. But as ever, look, I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. I want your opinions on this in our comment section below. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and all of that jazz. But Arsenal with a massive win to go clear at the top of the Premier League. Obviously, City played as we're going to go to your super chats in a minute and bring the panel up. Obviously, City played today as well, which some people are kind of forgetting about. But City played today and they lost. And I have to say, I'm not sure what City fans are joining us on the show. We sent the links out. Maybe none will be here. Maybe they'll all be here. But they really weren't good today. I just want to just say very quickly, City were very poor today in terms of, you know, I'm not someone that believes in the one-man team. The one-man team thing annoys me. Haaland did have 2 decent chances to score today, and he didn't take them. They had the majority of the ball, only by about 3 or 4%, but they had double the shots, barely any on target today. They didn't create enough big chances in the game, though. They had 2, they missed 2. Villa actually only had 1 big chance in the whole game, and they missed that as well, and that was Jadon Sancho towards the end. But they looked a little toothless today, in my opinion, City. And I'm taking nothing away from Villa because there were some good crosses in the box, which they cleared. But City just didn't look at their levels. And I think they showed something today that many have spoken about. That if you can stop Haaland, and if he has a game where he's maybe a little off the boil, who's that other person who's going to come up with a moment of brilliance? And I know that it's a dirty word in football. I'm not too sure why it's been made into a dirty word, but you need players that can have moments of brilliance, whether it's a good cross from a set piece, whether it's scoring a banger. And that's what City needed today. They didn't need to walk the ball into the back of the net. They needed someone to create half a yard and bend that ball into the top corner, and they weren't able to do it. Haaland, I'll never criticize him for games like today, even if he misses 3 big chances, because of how much credit he has in the bank and how regularly he does it. Let me rephrase that. I'll criticize a bad performance, but I won't go in on him because that's over the top. What I will say is a lot of other players needed to step up for them today. And I was talking to LB in the week, and he's always very honest and candid when it comes to his club. And a lot of City fans have still sort of been on the fence as to whether or not they really think they're going to be in a title race. And I think games like today probably make them feel like they're not, or they won't be there come the end. That they'll end up, you know, teams like Arsenal might end up 9 points, 10 points, 11, 12, 13 points ahead of them by 20 games into the season. And I don't think it's a bad train of thought. I don't think it will be the higher end of that. But I can see in the next... I mean, there's a big game in a couple of weeks. Game week 11. Game week 11. Man City versus Liverpool. One or both are probably going to fall further behind Arsenal. Arsenal now play, I think, 2 relegation teams, I think, in the next couple of matches. Let me just go and check, because I don't know. I know a lot of people think, I know they've got home to Brighton, they're not a relegation team, and then they're away to Burnley. Very winnable for Arsenal's level. I know Brighton have had given them some trouble the last couple of years, but different circumstance. If Arsenal were able to win those next 2 games, it's a guarantee that one of Liverpool, City, or both will definitely drop points in the next 2 games. It's a certainty because they play each other. So if Arsenal do win their next 2 games, it's almost a guarantee that they're going to end up being between 9 to 10, anywhere between 9 to 10 points ahead of those sides. It could be as low as 7 and 8 points. It's a really good advantage 11 games into a season to have over those 2 sides, who are not as good as they have been in years gone by. They're just not right now. But I thought City overall poor today by their standards. Well done to Aston Villa, who I thought played very, very well indeed. I did have the Bournemouth game on as well. Bournemouth really impressed me. They really impressed me. But do you know what I do think? Do you know what I do think about Bournemouth? And I'm taking nothing away from them. Nobody sits back against them today. Nobody sits back and says, I'm sticking 11 men behind the ball today. See if you can break us down. I wonder, do you remember a lot of managers when Leicester were in the last 10 games was in their press conferences before matches saying they really hope Leicester win the league? And every time that was said, that team seemed to win. I wonder if managers will get to a stage this season, if they don't need the points for themselves, where they just go, 10 games to go. You've got a team that's mid-table, not going to get relegated. But they say to the team, go out and attack today. So that leaves space. I wouldn't be surprised, because I can imagine the managers of the other smaller clubs would love a Bournemouth, would love a Sunderland to go on and win it. And they're 2 massive outliers this season. So well done to them this weekend. I am seeing a lot of Chelsea fans in my group chats. Arsenal can't bottle this. Arsenal should have bottled this. I love it how Arsenal get into a good position and the wording straight away is about them bottling it and being bad and everything else. I think Arsenal fans should all, to a degree, should just ignore it and just laugh a little, to be honest. Don't worry about the next game. By the way, just under 10,000 people watching, which is amazing. I am so grateful. I'm so thankful that so many of you are here. Can you please do me a favor, though, and hit the like button? And if you could hit the subscribe button as well, that would be amazing if you're new to the channel. Before I bring my panel out, I'm going to just go through these super chats. This one here says, the way teams sit in against us is actually insane, almost demon-like. How whoever calls us haram ball genius hasn't watched our games. Happy with the win. Fair play to Arsenal. You are so boring, though. Ranked 17th in open play goals is criminal. Was Arteta's plan to build a set piece team? Ginger Bish, I don't think it is. But if teams opened up against them a little bit more, they might score a few more goals. They've got to find a way to open these teams up and score some more open play goals. I don't think anybody is going to deny that. But with how good they are from set pieces, they do have a little bit of a trump card. We have conceded as many goals this season as Liverpool did in their last match. Is entertaining football worth it when you go to lose 4 in a row? I think there's a happy medium there. Warren Hussein says set piece envy, must win the league now. Rubbish narratives. A third game running, no shots on target from the opponents. Arsenal in 25-20, I think you mean 25-26, equal efficiency. We win, our direct rivals all lose. Perfect. Come on, you Gooners. My brother, who's an Orient fan, did say to me today, he said, can you imagine if out of nowhere we got ourselves a Man United Arsenal title race? I said, I don't think so. I don't think United are nowhere near that level. But he went, no, just be ironic considering you've gone on loan to Arsenal. I said, yeah, that'd be the football gods teaching me a lesson. Can you imagine? No, United are not in this title race, not in my humble opinion. Love the rivals crying, us being boring. City rely on Haaland. Liverpool spent all of that money and created themselves more headaches than actually addressing squad issues. Arsenal has the most complete squad. It's our time, is what Mr. Alex says here. Thank you for that lovely donation, my friend. Thing is, teams will play low blocks against us, so it makes sense to make us make off our set pieces. I agree. Set piece again, haters can cry. Look, I've said this for weeks now. Everyone who moans about the set pieces makes Arsenal better at set pieces. You create a thing. You genuinely create a thing in the back of someone's mind. And you can do this in all walks of life. Go play golf. And when you're near a bunker or water, you just keep thinking about the ball going in to the water in the bunker. You'll make it happen. You think, if any of you have ever done sport and you think, oh, I don't want this to happen. Watch it happen when you start thinking about it. Do you know that your brain, if you regularly visualize something, and over again, do you know that your brain gets to a point where it can't differentiate between a vision, a fantasy, and reality? It almost becomes real in your own mind. It's why sometimes we'll have those great stories where it might have been me and Brandon went out and these two little skinny blokes tried to start a fight with us and we won. Within 10 years, that story is me and Brandon were out. He had his arm in a sling. I just had surgery. 7 big geezers came after us and we battered them all 1 punch each. Those stories, because it's a little, every time you tell it, there's like an element of fantasy that comes in or slightly misremembered detail, bit of Chinese whisper. Someone goes, oh, tell that story you told us, but those 3 guys jumped out. And even your own mind goes, 3, I think it might have been. Your brain does that. And it's going on with Arsenal set pieces right now. The best thing rivals can do is shut up about them, but they can't because they're scared. And when you're scared, yammer, 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 yammer. Don't care. 1-0 to the Arsenal, 3 points. I thought it was very fitting that George Graham was there today, to be fair. If you know, you know. Arsenal win showed a sense of maturity around the team. I think it's from Patrick. In previous seasons, that game might have been nervy. Watching it was impressive. See, Patrick's a United fan like me. Thank you for watching, Patrick. And I agree. Again, I don't feel nerves for Arsenal because I'm not an Arsenal fan. But it felt so comfortable from my perspective watching. The run is going like Chelsea 04-05. They should be the last ones to cry. certain age group of Chelsea fans are not calling it out because they remember what that was like. But the young Chelsea fans, the ones that are 18, 19, 20, 21, up to about 25, 26, they have no idea about how their Chelsea team played. They just know the history books. You've got to remember that. That was 20 years ago. So anyone who's 25, 26 and younger has no real memory of how Chelsea played back then. Wait, everyone kept saying Crystal Palace are a good team. Why is it different for us? Winning against Crystal Palace ain't for everyone. If we had this defense in the latter Wenger years, we would have won more titles. Just wait until Gyökeres and Eze fully integrate. Right, Terry, Odegaard plays. We score more openly. You might do. Don't forget Big Gabby almost scored again today. Yeah. And then he hit his ball bag against the old post, didn't he? Oh, that looks so painful. A great win, Tell. If we manage to beat Burnley and Sunderland next, we will get to watch City versus the Brighton game. I'm stupid. The Brighton game I mentioned is clearly in the League Cup. You're right. It's Burnley and Sunderland. It was 2 relegation teams you play next. Some of you have probably said that in the comment section. I haven't even got to it yet. You're absolutely right. When I said it, I didn't remember them playing them. Sorry. Yeah, it's 2 relegation teams. But everything else I said, you should win those 2 matches. I know Sunderland are good, but you should beat them. And if you do, you're going to go further points clear of City and Liverpool. It's a mathematical fact. Liverpool let in 3 yesterday alone. That's how mad Arsenal's defense is. I agree, bro. Respect to Palace and Glasgow, hardest team to break down I've seen so far this season. I agree with you. Liverpool and City games coming at a perfect time. Arsenal could be 9 points clear with one of the rivals. Facing minimum shots could be a major factor. I've been supporting Arsenal since 1995. I've been waiting for the title going on 21 years. This title for 21 years. Could not care less how we play or score. Results and mentality over style any day. Give me Hussam's tears. People saying Arsenal are boring. I didn't watch Timber today, is what Garrett says. Another hard-fought win, 6 points clear of City, 7 clear of Liverpool. Who would have thought the top 3 after 9 games would be Arsenal, Bournemouth, and Sunderland? This league is never predictable. I agree with you, bro. And 9 games in, and rivals already saying most boring season. Suck it, you effing haters. You are all scared, and I love it, is what Callie. Big up Callie over there in Japan. Hope you're well, bro. Enjoying yourself. Set pieces, ole. Great win today. Scruffy, but 3 points. And listen, bro, that is the most important element. That really, really is. We're going to bring the panel out now. I do hate when one of the big team plays and there's another game kicking off, but I'm sure you guys are going to stay for this. It's only Spurs, isn't it? We'll have it on in the background. We'll see what happens. Let me just move that out the way. Let me move myself over to here. Let me bring everybody out here. We've got Brandon. We've got Ash is back with us. We've got Seb in the house. Anton's here. Jason, Shannon. And we have, I nearly said Kunle. It's not Kunle. It's Dio, who is here today. Welcome, gentlemen. Hope you're all well. I hope you're all good. Congrats on another win to us. At our congrats. And Anton, I'm going to go to you first. I mean, hard fought. Maybe not, not the best football in the world today from an attacking perspective, but solid. Didn't concede chances, but more importantly, you go further clear of your title rivals.
What amazing weekend. What a perfect weekend. I couldn't have written up better myself. For Man City and to Liverpool to both drop points, and then for Arsenal yet again to pull another 3 points clear is just amazing. And I tried warning everybody at the start of the season that Arsenal were clearly the best team in the league. Everyone laughed it off. Who's laughing now? Because at the moment, we are 6 points clear of Man City, 7 points clear of Liverpool, and our main title rivals right now is Bournemouth. So hold that to those teams. But in terms of our performance, look, to begin the game, I thought it was a bit slow. We really kind of felt our way into the game. I actually thought that, for instance, I thought Tyreek Mitchell had Saka on lock for long parts of the game. I didn't really think this is one of Saka's best games. I thought it was one of Trossard's better games, though, on the other side. And again, Jurrien Timber, I believe, has been Arsenal's best player this season. putting on a remarkable performance from right back for Arsenal. And look, we keep going on. Eze, I'm happy he got his first Arsenal goal in the Premier League was against Crystal Palace. I think all of us saw that one coming. And yeah, just an excellent 3 points today. I'm so happy. And as you mentioned, great opportunity now for us to push even further. This is sort of what I was saying about when Arsenal had the easiest schedule, hardest schedule, excuse me. We had the hardest schedule compared to everybody else, and how that would create a platform for us to move on. And what has happened since the schedules have gotten easier for us and harder for Liverpool and City, which is that Arsenal is starting to pull away more and more every single week. Every single week, I'm starting to feel more confident that the Premier League title is finally going to come towards the Emirates Stadium. Now, we need to keep this consistency going. We have to beat Burnley and Sunderland, and if that were to happen, again, Liverpool now have to go to Villa, or they play Villa at home. I don't know which one it is, but
they have to go to Villa Park.
They have to go to Villa.
City have got Bournemouth at home. At home.
So those aren't.
No. Liverpool are playing Villa at Anfield, guys.
Oh, are they?
Okay. Oh. Anyway, but those aren't easy fixtures either. And then, of course, the two of them play each other. So tremendous opportunity before the break for us to really, really pull clear and get like a stronghold on this league. I got one question for Terry, though, because I'm very curious. I've been waiting till the end of the weekend to ask you this, my friend. Are Arsenal now your marginal favorites for the league? Has your mind changed now? It has to.
I plead the fifth right now. There's a
sit on the fence.
No, it's not about sitting on the fence. There's a reason for it. And I'll be honest with you, the reason is content, and I'll be revealing my update at the appropriate time. I don't like to burn my content and my opinions, but being 6 and 7 points clear, you can maybe draw your own conclusions from that. But Arsenal, for me,
the fact that you won't put anybody else up there tells you all you need to know. Yeah,
listen, you got just fantastic, and I think you're there or thereabouts. For me, I think on a real level, I'm waiting until after the City Liverpool game just to see where everything lies. Then I think that's when, because I'm waiting to the international break before I reassess my predictions. That's all it really is. I kind of wait to a certain point. In my own mind, I kind of know what I'm thinking, but I just want to wait until that stage because we'll do it as a collective around with title, top 4, European positions, relegation. That's all it really is, mate. But Ash, long time no see, bro. Hope that you are good. A really, really important win for you today. Another set-piece goal. What impressed you about Arsenal's performance today?
I think just how we didn't let, as the game, obviously the first 20, 30 minutes, maybe even 40 minutes, we didn't look like we were playing that well. And a couple of times in the last few seasons, that probably would have got to us. The pressure would have built up. I think we would have given away cheap chances. We ended that first half, I think, 0 shots on target against us, which is obviously very good to see. I think it was a very good goal. I know what you mean. Usually with these kind of goals, I don't consider them set-piece goals, but unfortunately they count them that way because it's cleared and Eze wins it back and volleys it, which is a very, very good goal. I would have liked us to attack a bit more in the second half. Maybe not go all gung-ho, obviously, because we're winning 1-0 and they should be coming out a lot more. But there were a couple of times when it felt the old Arsenal that plays a bit conservative and stuff. But in the end, we managed the game really well. And Palace are not an easy team. I know they've lost 2 of their last 4 or something, but they're still the same team that's unbeaten for the last 20, 21 games. So very, very difficult game, but we still managed to get through. And we built a gap. I remember I did this show on Friday, and I even told this to Sam last week. I'm like, imagine if you drop points to Brentford and City drop points to Villa and we win and big up the gap. He's like, yeah, but imagine if you lose to Crystal Palace and we beat Brentford. It turns out what I said actually happened. So we did actually extend the gap. Hassan was wrong, so I'm going to cook him on Wednesday for that. But yeah, amazing performance. And I don't know why Saliba was off for halftime. I'm not sure if it was an injury. He did make a couple of mistakes in the first half. So I thought maybe Arteta was being a bit ruthless there, because he did that with Mosquera against Newcastle, if you guys remember, when he made a couple of mistakes in the first half. So if it is that's nice to see. I'm not going to lie. It's good to see that Arteta's trying to make sure defenders are not making any stupid mistakes.
Ash, you think it's also good to see that Saka wasn't playing well. There's 30 minutes to go, and he's making those changes. One, Saka does need rest, even if he's playing badly. You still, all well, he needs to come off. But is it good to see now your manager is removing players when they're not playing well and is giving other people opportunities?
Yeah, 100%. Because until last season or the season before, no matter how bad Odegaard and Saka were playing, they would play the whole game, which was very frustrating to see. And it's a good thing that we have such amazing squad depth now that we're able to do these kind of changes. I still don't like Martinelli going out on the right wing. I don't think he offers much on the right wing, in my opinion. I would have rather seen, I know Dalman is not on the bench, but I would have rather seen Waneri come off there. But it's still good to see that we have that much squad depth that we're able to take off these players who are obviously until last season were untouchable. But yeah, it's a very good sign. And this, look, I said we have the best squad depth in the league, probably one of the best squad depths in Europe, if you're being honest. And it's clearly showing because I think Arteta is using it really well.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Brandon, from your point of view and perspective, these were some of the games that you came on here last year and you were fuming with, where you went a goal up, weren't able to kill the game, but you conceded late. How proud of you watching Arsenal today get the job done in that circumstance and in that moment. Oh my God, Grealish should have scored. Sorry. Anyway, sorry. Over to you.
Yeah, it's impressive, Tel. I think now's the time for us to, as Arsenal fans, to apply the pressure and say, I think we're clear favourites to win the league. And I think this is our year and we must do it, to be honest with you. And that's not me just coming out saying that as if it doesn't happen, then I can sit here and go, blah, blah, blah about Arteta. I genuinely look at this Arsenal team right now. Today's performance wasn't the greatest. Let's just be honest about it. It wasn't the greatest, but we got the job done. As you pointed out, Tel, these are the games that we would have dropped points in last season, the season before. These are the games that would have hurt us in the end. And at the moment, I just see we find a way of winning. It doesn't matter how we do it. It doesn't matter how we play. I thought the first half we was really, really poor. We didn't move the ball very well at all. Second half was much better. And it's like we just find a way of winning. And these teams it doesn't matter who we're coming up against, they are really struggling to create any form of chances against us. And I've got to be honest, I look around the league right now and I don't see who can actually genuinely challenge us for this league title. I'm not convinced by Liverpool. I'm not convinced by Manchester City. I'm not convinced by any of the so-called top six, And as my man was pointing out, we've got Burnley and Sunderland next, two games that you'd expect Arsenal to win. You're looking at City and Liverpool, who at the beginning of the season were touted as the title contenders alongside us. Well, City have got to play Bournemouth. That's not an easy game. Liverpool have got to play a resurgent Villa. That's not an easy game. And then the following week, they've got to play each other. So in terms of us being 6 and 7 points clear now, that could be 9, 10, 11 points within the next two weeks. So the next 2 weeks are very key for Arsenal. I think all we can do is just keep winning. And then however it plays out with the other two teams is how it potentially plays out. But I can genuinely see this being a little bit of a similar season to last season, in the sense that I think we will, I don't want to say we'll comfortably win this league, but I do think there will be a comfortable element to it, unless the rest of the teams start to find form. But like I say, I am not convinced by anybody else in this league so far this season. Just on today again, I don't believe, did Palace even have a shot on target? And this is the problem that you're finding with Arsenal. Yeah, it's not so much that teams are not even having shots on target against us. That's how good our defence is. We've conceded 3 goals all season. 3 goals in all competitions. That's what gives me the confidence. It's not so much that our attack is the greatest, because I don't think it's in full flow yet. And I do think we have got more players to come back, and we will, as the season progresses, probably see a better element from Arsenal's attacking sense, and there will be more freedom there. But at the moment, it's like teams can't beat us, Tel. We're just simply not giving away any chances. So providing that we take one of our set pieces, which seems to be inevitable for us, or score from an open play, and we do create enough to score goals, maybe not enough to score like 3, 4, 5 goals in a game, but we do create enough to score goals, I'm confident that we're just going to keep winning games. And then I'm confident also that Liverpool and City are going to continue to drop points because I'm not convinced by them. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying now's the time to apply the pressure. Now's the time to say, I think Arsenal are the clear favourites for the Premier League. And I do genuinely think we will win this league this season.
I think a lot of what you said holds water and makes a lot of sense on the performances that have been out there from many others. Seb, I'm going to come to you next before I speak to the City boys as well. And there's a lot of you on here, but Trossard has just said this. Thank you, Brandon. It's using Trossard's words, and maybe again there's a bit of confirmation bias from me because of what I've been talking about in relation to creating pressure. But he says the breakthrough coming from a set piece again, it feels as if there's a tension now in dead ball situations, certainly in the crowd. Trossard then goes on to say that we are excited as well when we get a set piece. We know we can score. And it just feels, Seb, that the more and more Jamie Carragher cries, Neville cries, rivals cry, it just appears that everybody's actually shitting their pants every time you get a set piece. It's almost as though they're making it easier for you to score from set pieces by crying so hard.
Well, even the commentator picked on. There was one chance we were going down the left, and Munoz, I think it was Munoz, it might not have been, but he was like, oh, it could be a penalty, but he was like, it's a set piece anyway, so Arsenal's not going to moan. But it genuinely gets to that position where we get excited. But it is vintage Arsenal, really. Under George Graham, we won 2 league titles, winning games constantly by 1 goal. So really, it didn't really start playing attacking football really till Arsene Wenger came in. So this is proper vintage stuff. But I don't think any Arsenal fan's going to complain. It's just we did create chances in this game. Obviously, Henderson made a fantastic save from Declan Rice again. But if we keep this aura up, who's stopping us? It's like it's not up to us. It's teams aren't figuring a way of even stopping us from doing that. They're getting scared. They're getting worried. It's like we finally got that aura that Liverpool and City used to have, where teams would be so scared of them, that we now have that as well. Obviously, Pep Guardiola was a trendsetter in himself, the tiki-taka ball. We've now become our own trendsetters where teams are now trying to rely on set pieces and long throw-ins as well as everybody else. So we are the trendsetters right now. I think the problem with City, especially when you saw today, when Haaland's not scoring, there isn't enough goals distribution through the whole squad, especially their wingers are not scoring enough, their attacking midfielders, whereas we've had over 11 different goal scorers now, I think. So even when our forwards aren't doing well, we have players like Declan Rice, Zubimendi, who can step in, Gabriel, who can actually step in and score goals. So we're not reliant on our forward line. Obviously, you'd want more goals. But I thought, again, Gyökeres done well on what he's done well all season, where he's such an outlet for us where we can just, Raya can ping the ball forward. He takes it down. He's strong. He can hold off defenders. He creates space for wingers. But yeah, Saka comes off. He wasn't particularly good today, but none of us were expecting a demolition today. It's Crystal Palace. They've been one of the best teams in the league so far this season. So you'd have taken 1-0 from the off. It was great to see Eze score. I think me and Anton previewed this game before. We both said it was going to be a difficult game. We both said Eze was going to score a goal. So we were right on this one, but I'm fairly comfortable. Even I was sat there. I was pretty comfortable. And it's hard to say that. In the last couple of seasons when we were 1-0 up, it was a very nervous experience, but it's got to the point where we are 1-0 up and I don't have any nerves whatsoever. Even 2 of our backline came off today, replaced with 2 more. So Hincampe and Mosquera came on, didn't change really at all. So we've changed 2 of our backline. A midfielder had to come off in Declan Rice. And even with the substitutes coming on, we are not losing any balance at all. You saw that with Liverpool when they made subs yesterday. All balance lost in the midfield. When Manchester United made subs, there was a bit of a balance lost in there. But when we make substitutions, there is no balance lost. So I'm more than happy to win like this. I don't really care if no one is entertained. I would rather us win football games and them not be entertained because they're hating it even more. They can't even hate watch properly at this point. So long may it continue, in my opinion.
Listen, I agree with what you're saying. The hate-alongs, I was actually tuning into a few because while I'm watching the game, they are fucking amazing. Dayu, Arsenal have now kept 10 clean sheets from 13 matches in all competitions this season. The joint fastest an English top flight side has ever reached double figures in clean sheets in a season. So I'm not too sure the fastest team to 11, but you're bordering on a record now to have the best defensive start to a season. We've got the joint best defensive start to a season in 140 fucking years. And that was on display again today, wasn't it?
Wait, what's the other team, Terry?
I don't know. The post that's come out doesn't quote it. I mean, you guys, honestly, Durex should be sponsoring Arsenal because you're impregnable right now.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I think we all know Arsenal is solid, and I'm happy about that. The solid defense would keep the goals out. No shots on target against us. But on the other end, we find ways to score. This whole set piece thing, is it sustainable? Yes, it is. I'm just going to answer it because if you know what the definition of sustainability is, you'll know it is. The definition is very simple: to maintain something that you're good at. That's what sustainability is. If you're able to maintain something you're good at. And why will we be able to maintain it? Most teams set up in a low block or a mid block against us. When you do that, you're going to concede throw-ins in your half. You're going to concede corners in your half. You're going to concede set pieces in your half. And when you do that with a team that is good at it, you give us volume, we will make the best of it, probably score a goal or two. One reason why everybody complains about it is it's not our fault that teams are setting up in a low block and giving us the chance to be able to use our set piece. I would have been mad at Arteta seeing teams set up in a low block, conceding 11 corners, 12 corners, and Arsenal don't know how to use it. I would have been mad at my manager to say, teams are setting up in a low block. They're blocking against you. They're not allowing you to score, but they're giving you all these other opportunities that you didn't go and train for. Go train for it. So he's doing what he needs to do with the team. The team realizes that most people, even City this season, set up in the low block against us. They had their lowest ball possession, 32% this season against Arsenal. Even City. So when teams do that, you will concede majority of your fouls in your box. And if you concede in your box and Arsenal is good at set pieces, it is sustainable. Continue, all of you playing low blocks, continue giving us, that opportunity. And when teams play an open play against us, we've seen what Arsenal can do. Teams that have come out to play against Arsenal in the Champions League, we've seen what Arsenal can do. Do we turn around and say Liverpool is a set piece team in the Champions League because they've scored the most set pieces in Champions League this season so far? We can't turn around and say that. You know what I'm saying? So it's sustainable. I like the narrative people are trying to build about Arsenal, but yeah, it is sustainable. Defensively, I love it. I love what we're doing defensively. So far so good. It's just 9-10 games in. And everybody's like, you can't overly get carried away. But these were the same people who, before a ball was kicked, said Liverpool will run away with the league. Same people. Liverpool will run away with the league before a ball was kicked. But now we're 9 games in. Arsenal is looking good. Why are you guys getting so carried away? But you got carried away before the league even started. All of a sudden, I can't be excited about where my team is at after 9 games. Nah, yeah. So yeah, man. Defensively, let's just keep it up. Today again, you guys have talked about everything about the defense. Players coming in, the balance remaining. Arsenal looking solid, having squad depth, great stuff. I have nothing to complain about today. Crystal Palace is a difficult team. They're not an easy team. We saw what they did to us last season. Again, to be able to kind of just wriggle your way through that game and mug a 1-0 and just get out of there with 3 points, I'm happy for that. We're not going to look amazing in every single game. There will be games where we'll look exciting, amazing. We saw that with Atletico. Arsenal looked amazing. People are expecting us to maintain that same level throughout the season. In Champions League, in the Premier League, it's unrealistic. As a fan, all I want to see is 3 points in the league. And in the Champions League, just get a win. However, going to penalties, get a win. Just get a win. I'm not interested anymore in the beautiful football. I saw it in 2022-23 season. Beautiful flowing football. Didn't get us anything. I saw controlled football in 23-24. Didn't get me nothing. 24-25, injuries plus the rubbish ball we're playing and the indiscipline to receive 6 red cards and then draw those games from winning positions. I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see discipline, maturity, get 3 points, and let's just move on.
Listen, I think you're absolutely right to say what you're saying there, mate. I think winning the games is far more important, and you won't care about any of the other narratives. Should you go on to win the league title? It's as simple as that. A few super chats here. I want to post yourselves as well. This year says Brandon, it's more of this Arsenal team needing support now more than ever to push on and believe, as we as fans need to be ready to lift them if form drops. And I suppose I want to throw that question to you for a second, Jason, because you have been someone who is, when it's gone wrong, you've called it out, and that's fair. I'm not digging you out. I'm just saying. Have you seen enough? This is more my question for you, and I know you can only answer it for yourself. You can't answer it on behalf of Brandon or Arteta Outers at large. If you do have a bad result in one of the next 5 games, do you think enough's been done so far this season for you to sort of sit there and not overreact and do manager out streams and go crazy and rip into him? Do you think you're at a point now where the Arsenal fan base is equally as mature as this team looks to go, bad result, we'll criticize the bad bits, but that's where it ends. The next game, noisier, more support, more encouragement, more positivity to try and get you back to winning ways. Is that what the Arsenal players now need from you?
Depends on the game, to be honest. If it's a semi-final, then I would understand that. I would understand that total crash out, because you know what, we've seen it again and again. Like,
league game.
Cool. League game. At this state, if we lose to Burnley next week, I'll be annoyed, but at the same time, I wouldn't really go crashing out, because at the end of the day, we're top of the league, and that's what matters. And I know for a fact that we could bounce back depending on how we reacted from previous games this season. So it's one of those things. Like, you know what? I may have said a lot of things about Arteta throughout his tenure, and I admit it. But at the end of the day, like, I want the best for this club, and I feel like Arteta inners and Arteta outers, they want the same thing. They want to win. They, like, even Egal, like, obviously he's Arteta in, like, very positive. Me, I could say I'm balanced. I would say, you know, I'm a bit cautious, but
1-0 Tottenham, by the way. 1-0 Tottenham just scored.
Still want the same result. That's the thing.
Van de Ven from a corner.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. I hear you.
Another corner FC, yeah.
Yeah, another set piece goal. I wonder if anyone's going to cry. Hamza, I'm going to come to you in a second, Egal. Hamza. Oh, Hamza. Big defeat today. You go 6 points behind Arsenal at the summit of the Premier League. What went wrong today, in your opinion, Hamza? Why did you lose this game? You're on mute, bro. You might be on space or something. What's he doing?
To me?
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to Arsenal fans. That's why I was sick. I was not listening to these guys because I'm not coming here to. That's like shame. Well, it's shameless, man. Like, I couldn't listen to these guys. I'm sorry, guys, man. It's gonna be our worst nightmare. Like, if these guys win the league,
Hamza, last time we won the league, you're an Arsenal fan.
I'm done. I'm done, man. That cannot happen. Listen, about my game, I don't want to talk about Arsenal because I'll just feel sick. Man City, from beginning today, you know what? We don't blame Pep Guardiola, but Pep Guardiola has to be blamed today. Like, I'm sorry to say this, like, the lineup was poor. I'm sorry, like, Liverpool have just lost that game, and I go to Villa away with Oscar Bob and Savio on the wing. Like, what are we doing this? Like I know you guys believe that these guys are good, but they're not Man City standards. I've always stuck by that. I'm sorry to say this. And I don't know. You can cancel me on this, and Man City fans can hate me for this. I'm sorry. You cannot win the league with Oscar Bob on the wing and Savio on the wing. I'm sorry. You either have one or you play them against Burnley at home, but Villa away is a tough game. We don't have wingers. Savio was poor first game. We've got the best striker in the world, and we're not creating any chance for him. And you expect us to win. Like, Savio first half was poor, did not create any single chance. Matty Cash was one-on-one with him. He didn't go past him once. He lost the ball 5 times. He gave the ball. He got yellow carded. And Pep Guardiola should have substituted in the first half and then kept Oscar Bob the other side. I'm not going to criticize Oscar Bob, but they were both poor. And then he kept him for 83 minutes. As soon as Marmoush comes on with 5 minutes to go, he creates a chance for Haaland, who scored, and he was just offside. The thing is, I don't know. To me, we were poor today. We didn't create any chances. We were poor in all levels. Even the creating is the one. Like Man City, if I played in Villa and I had Cherki, Marmoush, Doku is threatening. He's one of the best. Why are we benching him against Villa away, where we've lost nearly every single time? Like Liverpool, would you bench? This is a learning lesson. I'm sorry, Savio. I've said from beginning, I don't think he's the standard of Man City. I could be wrong. Man United are level on points with us. That's a shame. Like Manchester United are level on points with Manchester City, with Ruben Amorim. Like, it's bad. I'm 6 points behind Arsenal. People are praying for Bournemouth to stop Arsenal now.
Can I say something, Terry?
I have not even played Liverpool.
On Man City.
Listen, like today, bro, you can't protect that. I'm sorry. This is the problem.
Hamza, are you surprised? Erling Haaland doesn't score, Man City lose. Are you surprised?
And what did I say to you? What did I say to you, Terry? That on that game, what did I say to you? I said it to you first time, and I said, nah. I said, as this team is Erling Haaland FC. If Erling Haaland doesn't score, I used to have Kevin De Bruyne scores, Riyad Mahrez scores, Raheem Sterling scores, Julian Alvarez scores. Who there, bro? People say Marmoush. Marmoush will be gone in AFCON. If Marmoush goes the way United are playing, I hate Man United. Man United could go on top of us. Like, we've got Marmoush, going in AFCON, and we have to play Haaland every 3 days. Can we sustain that? We don't score goals with that Haaland. Yeah, today Haaland didn't even have a created opportunity, like completely. Egal.
He did. Hang on. He got put through one-on-one on goal in the opening 10 minutes.
Enough, but you have a chance like that. Okay, fair enough. But he should have multiple chances. Multiple chances. KDB on that pitch and other players like, bro, we're winning that game. This is not even.
Talk to me about Rejinders.
Huh? Arsenal were building on this squad, and people were laughing at Arsenal. They're a banter club. They will not win. It's only Arsenal. La 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 la. I can lose Cancelo. I can lose. Bro, it comes in. You've been chopping the tree that bad. Now, everyone's shocked. Everyone's panicking. Arsenal are top. Oh my God. Please stop them. Oh my God. I'm telling Liverpool fan, I can't stop them. I don't believe in myself. My team ain't going to win the league.
1-1. Everton just equalised.
Man, I'm not going to win the league.
Set piece again. Ole. It's not really. Set pieces.
Hamza, can we talk about Rejinders?
Trendsetters.
We spoke about Rejinders on my show, talking about how he's a pylon and he can't play DM. Why was he playing DM?
Because Nico G had a little injury. I think Vator will say that. He had an injury, a little knock, and Pep Guardiola decided not to play him. The thing is, we needed to stay with Arsenal today. That was key. We needed to stay with Arsenal on that pack and then go on and hopefully sign someone. But the problem is, we've already dropped points. You're 6 points clear. Arteta will galvanize your team. You've got a big squad. You've got an army of a squad. I'm told to go to war, and I don't have enough bullets. I've got Cherki, Marmoush, Haaland. That's it. Okay, fair enough. Where are the other bullets? People are telling me Savio and Doku. They don't, bro. Savio and Doku couldn't today. No. Savio and Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob was poor against Lucas Digne, and some City fans will say, but that's not Savio's right side. You had to swap him on the right side. He got swapped on the Lucas Digne side. He didn't go past Lucas Digne. He didn't go past both wings. He was poor. This is a guy we rejected 75 million bid. Are we gonna get that again? 75 million. We sold Alvarez for 15 euros more. 15 euros more, but we rejected 75 million. We'll regret that. And if Arsenal win the league, it will be shame that Pep Guardiola has lost to Arne Slot and then see Arteta win the league. I'm sorry to say this. Today, my manager has to take an L for this. And I'm going to be critical for that. And people say I'm overreacting. Foden was poor, as well as Rejinders was poor. Everyone was poor. But I think today, the chances were not created for the best striker in the world. And sadly, if I was Erling Haaland, I'll be pissed off today. I'll be really upset. Like, the standard I'm playing with, they're not good enough.
Just an update. They might be disallowing this go for. They've sent the referee to the monitor. It's for a subjective offside. It's because there's a player behind the goalkeeper, and they're saying that he's offside, and he stops the goalkeeper from being able to dive properly for the ball. In slow motion, you'd go offside. In real time, you can see if they play it in real time, the goalie wouldn't have got there anyway. There's too much power on the header. And anyway, but back to this game. V, my man, my bro, what are you saying?
I'm good. What up? Credit to Aston Villa. Difficult, always difficult, man. We had late game dramatics last time we played them, right? And it wasn't going to be a surprise that it was going to be a difficult game. I saw the starting 11. I had my questions. I was like, Pep's doing something different here. Pep's got a lot of changes here. Let's see what he's doing. We got options on the bench. And I agree with what Professor Hamza is saying. I was surprised with some of the changes and how late they took place because the first half wasn't a typical City first half. We weren't creating enough chances. Even that chance for Haaland, I was like, ooh, typically he puts that away. That's when we kicked it right into the keeper. But we weren't doing enough. We weren't doing enough across the board. Rejinders had a shot, little off target. Haaland is usually who we go through. Foden as well. I think Foden had a few chances. But again, the quantity wasn't there. And I'm not losing my mind because we aren't the challengers we would normally expect us to be, right? There's a conversation that happened, and it's been happening for a while. We've been the sleeper team. We've been keeping it close. So I didn't expect us always to keep this pressure on Liverpool. I was hopeful for it. But this drop points was very unfortunate. I think Pep's got to figure out what the best 11 is, and he might even have to choose on what we're going to pursue this season. Because, again, squad depth, I don't think we have the ability to go after every trophy. I really don't. I think
Maradon here says this is an unprecedented season. Liverpool and City are in a rebuild.
Well, I don't quite agree
Liverpool
with that.
not in a rebuild. That's shameless.
I can't agree with that.
Can't be rebuilding.
That's why we call him Maradon. That's why his nickname on the terrace is Maradon the Moron. He's got a nickname. Yeah.
Yikes. But again, I've been saying it. I want to stay within close distance. I mean, us being 6 points off Liverpool, 9 games into the season, I'm not losing my mind. I'm not stressing about it. We've had points.
6 points off Arsenal. Get it right. 6 points off Arsenal, not Liverpool.
Are the leaders, of Arsenal. 6 points off Arsenal, even more calming because we've had this point gas between Arsenal and City before, and it's been managed. Right?
No, you didn't.
Bro, your team is not the same as it was then. I'm sorry.
And you've never been 6 points behind us.
And our team is way, way better than those past Arsenal sides. I gotta interject.
City's never been 6 points behind Arsenal.
But that Man
in
City
the last
team,
years when we challenged for the league, that is.
That Man City team was a much different team. You guys had a second team that could basically beat most other sides. You don't have the same thing now.
Less than 6. If the point gap was less than 6, you understand why there's no concern to be having it 9 games into the season. The same way I'm surprised for Liverpool fans losing their mind and saying the season's over. It's 9 games in. I'm calm.
You know the difference?
And I'm going to finish my point, Egal. I'm calm with regards to where we are 9 games in. Now, you guys are performing well. Of course, you guys have the depth. But the point I was trying to make is I think my manager is going to have to decide on what we will pursue. Because we don't have the squad depth to go after every cup, in my opinion. I've seen him made that choice before when Liverpool were going after the quad. Pep actually conceded with regards to the FA and put the priority with regards to the Champions League and the league. So we'll see what happens later on. 9 games in, I'm kind of calm. I want to see who he's going to trust moving forward. The games going into the international break are very important. So we dropped points today, but we got to see how we kick back on and get ready for the rest of the season.
Back at the top of the Premier League where we belong. But Terry, I'll tell you something. Their manager doesn't believe that they can catch up. The way I heard Pep describing what he thinks about Arsenal, he's like, this team is too good. They're not going to drop many points. They won't give us an opportunity. This is a different Arsenal. He believe in the past. He used to just say we just need to win our games. We just need to focus on ourselves. Now he's looking over at Arsenal saying this team's a machine. He doesn't believe in his machine. That's why you're dropping points to Aston Villa.
We believe what Pep says in the press conferences now.
You know something? There is some times where he slips up and tells the truth.
This is one of those times.
It's not every time where he's lying, right? This is one of those times because he did speak about a team being this far ahead early in the season in the past. And when he spoke about Arsenal in the past, he kept it on Man City. He never focused on the opponent. He always kept it on Man City. Just speaking about our players need to do what needs to be done. Our team needs to focus on what we need to do. This is not an attitude issue. This is not a thing. I think this is a personnel issue. He looks around and he doesn't see the same level of quality in the team. And he's not going to fool himself into thinking this team's going to catch up. I don't think anyone right now in this league is 100% confident they're going to come back and catch up. With the way that City's playing.
It's Arsenal's league to lose.
Yeah, we are the favorites, and we just need to keep going, tick and tick, 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 tick.
I think if you lose, I think if Arsenal lose,
but it's not about Arsenal lose. Come near me. Come near me first. Talk about Arsenal. We don't concede.
We've been here before. 8 points ahead.
We don't concede.
Getting carried away.
Let him speak.
We've conceded 2 shots on target since the Newcastle game. Forget about losing. We've conceded 2 shots on target since the Newcastle game. So, in my opinion, it's no longer about you guys being scared of other people. If Arsenal lose, we just need to focus on ourselves. We don't worry about our opponents throughout the 90 minutes because we limit them to chances. The games are boring for other people because defensive football, good football where your team is not giving away too many chances and is creating enough chances to win the game, might not necessarily be the most entertaining game because there's not so many goals. It's not a 5-4 thriller like Liverpool do versus Bournemouth or something.
You guys haven't been entertaining for a while, but I hear your point with regards to.
If you have injuries, you don't need to be entertaining to be effective. And finally, let me just say this: the set piece thing that people are talking about. We spoke about Erling Haaland being unsustainable, being your main goal scoring threat. If Arsenal do not concede many goals and we consistently score set pieces, what's unsustainable about that? We scored 9 goals from set pieces this season, and 2 of them were 11 goals from set pieces, 2 penalties. I really do believe Arsenal currently are the best set piece team in Premier League history because no other team, only 5 teams in Premier League history have scored more than 11 set pieces the whole season.
Can you do the history talk a little later? It's 9 games in.
Hang on. Sorry, did you just say that the highest amount of set piece goals ever scored in the Premier League is 11?
No, 11 goals being scored is now 6th all time, and we're only 9 games into the Premier League, Terry.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, some teams have got up to it's only a few years ago. Like Liverpool got 20. I think 20. Oh, okay, I hear your point now.
With it being 9 games into the season, we already have 6 clean sheets. We've only conceded 3 goals, and we have 11 set pieces.
Bro,
we need to go on to win the league because come the end of the season, everyone's going to see how many metrics we break. Because what we're doing right now, what we're on pace to do, is unbelievable.
We heard this on pace to do. You guys talk like this about the 15 goals that Chelsea conceded in a season. Can you give it?
Didn't get the job done.
Yeah, so wait.
I believe this
you guys you always do this. Give it some time before you start talking like this about being the best in history.
I'm actually not doing anything crazy because I'm actually saying if and buts, but you guys just want to choose to hear one thing and not listen to what I'm saying. I'm speaking about if we go on to win the league, this team is currently looking different. And the reason why Arne Slot's losing his head, the reason why the whole league is now focused more on set pieces, they see a team at the top doing it so successfully. Majority of the team is now adopting this. It's a copycat league. When Pep was doing certain things, everyone was copying it. When Klopp was doing certain things on the counter, playing quick, everyone started playing quick. And now you see way more people focusing on set pieces, focusing on long throws, focusing on trying to get as much possible from dead balls. And I do think there is there's a trickle-down effect. It is leading to more quality chances being made for the lower down the table teams.
Can I ask you a question as well? Trossard has spoke in an interview after the game saying, talking about how there's like an atmosphere now when you guys get a set piece. They feel more confident than ever. And a lot of that is because of the way people keep speaking about your set pieces as an example. Do you think that the hatred and the, Carragher and Monday were sort of referring to long balls and set pieces and throw-ins as embarrassing? Do you think that kind of talk's actually playing into Arsenal's hands?
It's a badge of honor, Terry. They're so scared that there's people turning around like it's a penalty when we have a corner. They're genuinely turning around scared to look because they know our corners are basically like penalties. And we get the most corners in the league. We have the most touches in the opponent's box. It's going to lead to way more set pieces. And now that we've unlocked long throws also, we only had our first corner of the game was in the 60th minute. But I swear to you, Terry, it felt like every long throw was a corner. the fact that that Calafiori could get it so far into the box. And yeah,
by the way, Egal,
it's annoying people, Terry, even more, is because usually the teams lower down the table do this as the only means to get it into the box. But we're already battering you, pinning you into your own end, and then also doing this on top. Yeah. So it is.
By the way, Egal,
and
one thing I just checked. By the way, correction on what you said. It's only one shot on target since the Newcastle game, which was today after 252 minutes of no shots on target.
No, it's two because he's including Atletico Madrid. We had a shot on target against
I'm talking about in the Premier League, but yeah.
But hey, by the way, final thing, all you guys keep crying.
But go. Remember,
it's so funny. It's so funny. I seen a Spurs fan today talking like, I can't do any. If Arsenal win the league, I don't know if I'll be able to live with myself. When have you ever won the league?
Do you know what's really funny about it though, right? Do you know what's really funny? The last 3 years, and I've been kind of maybe not the center of this, that's a bit of an arrogant way to say it, but ever since I did that Arsenal scary video, which still makes me laugh to this day, because it was just about my perception that they were leaving us in the mud. It wasn't even about what we're seeing now and maybe winning the league titles so much. What's really funny is people have spent the last 3 years lying about football in general to shit on Arsenal. We've seen that with the way set pieces are being spoken about at this particular moment. We saw the disgrace from TalkSport when Waneri was given an opportunity as an example. You guys, the way you're ridiculed for spending money and other people are celebrated. There's been multiple examples where Arsenal have been chastised for doing very normal things. People have spoken well out of turn. There's a lot of content out there about it. And I fought back against it because that's why I have the series Killing the Game, because I don't want that narrative to become mainstream, because I think it's bad for football in general. It just so happened it was Arsenal that they were attacking. That's why you're going to find, Egal, a lot of people now, if you guys genuinely go on to win the league, it shows that laughing at all the methods, it shows that saying that it is, and what I'm seeing from a lot of Arteta outers now is it's really intriguing to watch. Is they're doing this? Yeah, but it doesn't mean I was wrong. What do you mean, sir? Well, I wasn't wrong in the seasons where he didn't win the league or when we didn't do this. I went, no. Your prediction wasn't he's not going to win the league this season. He could do in the future. Your prediction was he would never win a major trophy. So if he wins it today, you can't backtrack and pretend you were right. What will be the next thing you'll see? I guarantee you this is what you'll see from the Arteta out mob. And you'll see this from Arsenal's haters that are rivals. They'll both say a similar thing, which will be, if it wasn't for the Arteta outers and the Standard FC guys having high standards, this wouldn't be possible. The Arsenal fans who wanted Arteta out will say, listen, I didn't get what I asked for, but if it wasn't for people like me keeping Arteta on his toes, he would never have got to this level. That's the next stage of...
You know what it is,
I guarantee you that is what Arteta outers say next, because they're so predictable that they just can't admit that I guarantee you they start saying it on camera.
Terry, it's worse. It's worse. 100%. If he doesn't win the double, he's a fraud. That's what they're gonna do.
I'm not too.
That's what they're gonna do, Terry. They're gonna add another.
If you win the league like this, yeah, it will be remembered. No one remember. People remember like a Bolton Wanderers, dirty style. No one.
We could get to the FA Cup final.
No, I'm telling you now. The way people respect you, Invincible, you played beautiful football. But this way, if you win the league that way, people will never be happy with football. Like you won the league on the way.
You know something?
Did you say that about Chelsea in 2005?
You have 4 Arsenal fans here.
No respect that. And I think
whatever
Hams is giving you exactly what the narrative is going to be from the rival fans. He's spitting it out right now.
Used to win games 1-0 under George Graham all the time. It was to the Arsenal 1-0. So I don't think anyone's going to be.
Do you know what's really funny though, Hamza? Do you know what's really funny? There's 2 things in what you've said that I find funny. One, you've never put any respect on Arsenal's name, but now suddenly you're going to start respecting the history that you say doesn't exist. The second element is it may not be the prettiest football in the world, but the irony of a Man City fan saying that this will be looked at as dirty if you win it this way, considering the allegations that you're under, that underpin currently most of your trophies, the word dirty being associated to another team's titles, until you're exonerated, I just find it a real ironic claim to make.
Terry, I'm just saying that Arsenal's
winning from set pieces versus potentially winning through fraud. I know which one's dirtier, my friend. I would, if I was a City fan, when it comes to that kind of conversation, until you're exonerated and proven innocent, I'd sit that one out, mate, personally.
Terry, just quickly. The thing is, Arsenal are looked at like globally, like when people became fans, like we had Thierry Henry, we had Perez, and it was beautiful. Vieira, Petit, at that time, Vieira and Gilberto, Overmars. Look at that. They were playing beautiful football. Arsenal were like, wow, people used to look up to them. But however, the principles now, people are seeing them like a dirty
firstly, this is it. Let me just. I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I know this because my football knowledge is there. Before Wenger, they were one of the most successful teams in England, and they won European trophies like the Cup Winners' Cup and the UEFA Cup. And
they never won UEFA Cup.
Yes, they did. They won They won the Intercity Fairs Cup, which is what the UEFA Cup. That's what the UEFA Cup was called. It changed names. You know, hang on a minute. Hang on. Stop. Hang on, Hamza. I'm actually trying to stop you, not to be rude. I'm stopping you so you don't make yourself look stupid. You know the Europa League is just a new name for the UEFA Cup, yes? Yes?
I know.
Yes. The UEFA Cup was the new name for the Intercity Fairs Cup.
Yeah, but Intercity Fair Cup was a different cup. It was about somehow fair trade or fair something.
But they ended that. And the UEFA Cup started. It was the continuation. Do your research on Europe. But either way, they were renowned for being a far more pragmatic team, as we're seeing now. Wenger then brought in a style of football that was beautiful, and everybody applauds that. But then you're missing out this period of time, and this is the problem when you try and do these cheap shots, is Arsenal didn't adapt as the modern day game did. Wenger didn't adapt. He still wanted those players that were 5'2", brilliant on the ball, but maybe didn't have the pace and the strength needed. And for a period of maybe 10 years, what Arsenal were ridiculed for was not being able to win games like today against fast, powerful, athletic teams. And they've got that balance right. And to a point now where you saw it against Atletico. Atletico in the last three games for Arsenal are the only team to open up when they went 1-0 down. And they got annihilated. Palace today, even at 1-0 down, going into added on time. How many players are they genuinely committing forward to their attacks? 3 or 4? Because they know what this Arsenal team's capable of. And equally, I'll speak on behalf of Arsenal fans in my community when I say this, I don't think they should give 2 fucks about anyone slagging off how they play football if they win the league, because it is absolutely irrelevant. And I don't know what the Gooners think about that on the panel, but it's crazy.
The UEFA Cup. Do people remember?
Of course, you're not going to care. You shouldn't care. You've been celibate for 20-something years. You're going to get it whichever way you can. Thanks for having me on the show.
Beto, when Greece won the UEFA Euro, whatever it is, no one gives a shit about that Greece because they all did is set piece FC. They kept scoring.
I know plenty of Greeks who give plenty of shits about that Greek victory. I just gotta
globally, we care about beautiful football. People remember great teams like Spain, Brazil. People look up to that. And I'm sorry, you
remember. That doesn't mean others don't remember.
I'm not gonna.
Here's the difference.
Did you think
right?
the same thing about Chelsea? How come people still talk about 2005's Chelsea then, when they were also not the best attacking wise?
Here's the difference, though. This Arsenal team has got that in their locker to play great football. Other teams, it's not our fault that other teams are playing low blocks and trying everything in their power to try to stop us. As Terry mentioned, the one time the team came out after 1-0, we absolutely annihilated, and we've got absolute ballers in this team. If you guys allow us to play that type of football, we will play that type of football. We've got Epereche Eze's and Bukayo Saka's and like Martin Odegaard's when he comes back, Azuba Mendy's. We can play the beautiful football if we needed to. At the moment, we're
like playing the beautiful football. Hamza, why did you park the bus against us then? If you like playing beautiful football,
I think we didn't.
Why'd you park the bus against us?
Yeah, no, beautiful football. But we played counter-attacking football. You're right, but I just think
but you didn't play counter. You played park the bus football. That's what you did. Yeah, you had 10 men behind the ball. Okay, why did you do that if you like counter?
But when Liverpool won their league, they won beautiful football. When I won the league, when Terry won the league was amazing. Alex Ferguson arrows amazing.
And if we win the league this season, it'll be amazing as well.
No, it won't. I swear to God, I don't think so. The way I see Arsenal as boring. I swear to God.
It sounds like copium, Hamza. It sounds like you're scared of the outcome that could be.
No, you might win the league, which would be annoying.
It sounds like you're terrified, bro.
No, big up Mikel Arteta for playing that defensive. He's worked.
Big up, guys. I need to head out.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I appreciate that as well. I've got a few super chats here. And by the way, just so you know, the Intercity Fairs Cup was a FIFA tournament run for nearly 20 years. Barcelona were the most team that won it the most. A lot of top European sides, including the likes of Leeds United at the time, were in it and won it. And when UEFA essentially took it over, it was abolished and the UEFA Cup was created, but it was just a continuation of that tournament. But when Arsenal were winning the Cup Winners' Cup was the second biggest European trophy behind the Champions League. UEFA Cup was always the third biggest until the Cup Winners' Cup was dismissed. And just to let you understand about the Cup Winners' Cup, multiple teams across Europe didn't even have domestic competitions like the FA Cup. They invented them just so they could send a member of their league to that competition. People have got to start doing their history on football before they speak about it. Hamza, remember the Invincibles so much because he started watching football where he was supporting that team. Tell Vator, Egal, and Professor Hamza, can we have a Phil Foden conversation? Yeah, he wasn't very good today. He wasn't very good at all today, to be honest with you. It's still October. That's all, is what Nathan says here. Nate says, Egal, please stop talking, watch silently, and speak in May. Every time you guys speak too much, just enjoy it and shut the fuck up. Let the rivals speak. Ray here says, for me, City don't look like a team that are going to win a title. They are toothless without Haaland scoring. Pep's not asked now. Top 4 battle for City. You guys have the same points as Man United. That's obviously to you City fans. This is just facts. Haaland had a chance to score at the end and missed it and bottled it. Sorry. Can we just talk about Sunderland? They're flying. We're going to speak about them on the Six-Sided show tomorrow evening, so don't worry, that won't be missed at all. Rory here earlier says Palace are amazing off the ball. They lock up both Saka and Zubimendi and still won. They were very good today as well. We haven't really spoke about them at large. That isn't what this show focuses on the top 6.
You know what it is all the time. When that player always turns up against Saka, it's Tariq Mitchell. He always has him in his toast, like literally on lock.
He was great. I also Wharton today was just amazing. I was watching Wharton and I was just thinking, please sign him. Please sign him. Another hard-fought win, 6 points clear of City, 7 points of Liverpool. Who would have thought the top 3? I'm sorry, we've done a super chat, but yeah, that top 3 is crazy. Look, I want to thank every single person who's tuned in. This is going to redirect you to Judge Mo and Hassam's channels to go and support them. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we're going to see you all again very, very soon. Peace.